Who's going to be the baddest dude when you come on these white lines? Be the baddest dude on these white lines starting tonight. No excuses. Let's do this thing.
Welcome to Season 4, Episode 1 of the Brett Beer Show, sponsored by James Restaurant. I'm Cooper Burrell. As always, I'm here with Coach Beer. Coach, how you doing?
Hey, doing great. Ready to start another year?
Yeah, Coach, I'm ready. Let's talk about this summer. What do you think was the big improvement over the summer with the team?
Yeah, I thought you had a great summer. Our kids came to work. We had about a 98% attendance rate. You had, almost 70 kids, went 26 for 26. Really a huge summer for our program. A lot of great growth. Successful June with 7-on-7. We had some ups and downs in 7-on-7, but there's a lot of new things that we had to get cleaned up and corrected with 7-on-7 in our passing game. Getting guys comfortable running routes and getting guys running, our concepts and, just getting on the same page with our quarterback. And really thought we finished up strong in July. And because of our play and our growth so far, you could tell we had a successful summer.
Yeah, Coach, we had a lot of 7-on-7 this summer. What do you think our biggest improvements on 7-on-7 were?
The biggest thing with this group is, competition. We've got a young group. We got a inexperienced group. And even something as 7-on-7, I'm not a huge 7-on-7 guy. I was a D lineman, so I don't get into the flag football aspect of football. But it has its place. Guys got to get comfortable competing at a high level. And with our 7-on-7s, you do see some formidable opponents. Guys that, 5A teams that are legit all the way down to 1A teams that are going to compete and go to the Dome. So, our kids, our guys just get better competing, going out against somebody different. So I was really pleased week in and week out with that. And, you definitely saw the growth.
All right, Coach, let's get into his highlights a couple weeks ago against Woodlawn. Woodlawn's quarterback takes the ball. He rolls out and passes. It is complete. He runs up the field and then is brought down by a swarm of Yellow Jackets. Big tackle by number 3, Brian. Denham on offense, number 9, Jerry Horn rolls out and passes downfield. It is completed and then stopped. A big pass by number 86, Hunter Ryder. Jerry Horn throws the ball down the field and it is complete. Touchdown pass to number 80, Colton LeBlanc. Coach, let's talk about this play here.
Yeah, that was the first drive of the scrimmage. We come out, it's like our hair was on fire. We were freaking playing. And, finished with a great throw, great catch right there. And that we got to feed off of that. We got to grow from that. And we kind of hit a little lull after that instead of feeding off that energy. But really a great throw, great catch, and a huge finish to a first drive.
Yes, sir, absolutely, Coach. You see them celebrating right there after the touchdown. Woodlawn on offense now. Quarterback number 17 throws it in, and it is a caught. It is a touchdown by number 1 on a slant route. Woodlawn with the ball again. Quarterback number 17 throws, and it is a huge hit by senior linebacker number 2, Jonas Clark. Coach, let's talk about this play real quick.
Yeah, a perfect read. Ran a little route out to where he's got to get cover that. Jonas is a physical player. Just a perfect technique right there. Got his head on the bow right there, made the ball pop out. If you can't make the pick, you got to get the ball out, and that's exactly what he did, what we teach him to do.
Yes, sir. Woodlawn, quarterback number 7, a deep pass, but it is intercepted by Mason Varese. Coach, let's talk about Mason real quick.
Well, again, big-time corner that we have that's going to make a bunch of plays for us. We have to get to where we're scoring points offensively to where we can really use the strength of our DBs, which is them against the pass. And once we get that going, we got a chance to be really scary because of these dudes we got on the back end. All 4 of them are special. So really excited to watch Mason start with a pick and get his confidence up. And I thought defensively played really well this night.
Yes, sir. Woodlawn, quarterback number 11, has a touchdown pass to number 2, 7-0 Panthers in live action. Coach, let's talk about this right here.
Well, it's always been a route. If you go back and look at the history of any of our teams, sometimes that wheel or that seam route where our outside linebackers got to cover him for that long. We got to do a better job getting pressure up front because we're asking an outside linebacker to cover a big route for a long time. and that's giving us fits. I mean, you know that from experience. We
Yes,
put
sir.
you in a bad spot, and we got to do a better job of either knowing to get you help or whatnot.
Denham with the ball, number 9, Jerry Horn passes it down the field to number 6, Deshaun McBride, who comes up with it after an incredible catch. Coach, let's talk about McBride real quick.
Well, special talent, special player. Very rare do you have a dude like this. I think we're getting too comfortable just throwing up to him. People got to understand that when Deshaun's in the game, we're not just going to throw the football to Deshaun. We got other dudes that can make plays. We got to be able to run the football because he's going to open up that box. But again, what a freak show play that he made. Just kind of makes you laugh on the sideline and smile and just be thankful that he's on your team. But we can't get used to just throwing it up to a kid like that. So we got to continue to run our offense and get better. And those big plays are going to be made by him and everybody else.
Absolutely, Coach. Quarterback Jerry Horn passes to Seth, but it is off his hand and intercepted by Woodlawn. Panthers take over late in the scrimmage. Last chance for the Jackets. Quarterback Jerry Horn rolls out, but is sacked. Denham runs out of time. Woodlawn wins the live action portion of the scrimmage 7-0. All right, Coach, I want to talk about how the offense didn't score at all in the live portion during Woodlawn.
Well, I mean, the biggest thing, the first drive was probably, if you look back on us the last 4 years or the last 3 years here at Denham, that's probably one of the better opening drives we've ever put together. We don't exactly come out on fire, which I think is going to change, because if we can get the football, we're going to give the offense the first chance to go get us going and kind of ignite that fire. But again, you have the big first drive, and then, a couple things, we stall a couple times, then we start kind of getting down and pointing fingers, and it kind of brings our life down, offensively, and we went to reeling a little bit, and you can see it in our play. We pressed, and we weren't as successful and didn't build off that first drive, which intel shows you your youth and inexperience, and that's something that's going to flip in due time.
Coach, I also want to talk about how the defense only let up 1 touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at that, you look at our scrimmage, I thought defensively we did some really good things. Again, we're undersized in the box, so to the naked eye, you think we're getting pushed around, you think we're, giving up, chunk plays and all, but if people in high school got to drive 15 to 17 plays, drive in and drive out to beat us, we're going to be in a really good spot. I mean, high school kids don't always make 15-play drives without making mistakes, without putting yourself behind the chains. And defensively, we've given up 3 or 4 yards in the box at times, but really we are a bend and do not break type defense right now until we get comfortable in the box. Middle linebackers got to trust the D-line. D-line's got to trust the middle linebackers. And that's all going to come together, and it is. And you see that. You saw it a little bit in the Jamboree as well. I mean, we're getting better. So the biggest thing from the Jamboree, the takeaway, we're physical. We got some big stops in critical times. We tackled really well, which you don't always see early on. And because of that, I think we're on to who we are and what we can do, and we're going to keep getting better.
Yes, sir. Speaking of the Jamboree, let's get into these highlights. Jackets take the field at home against Walker for the Jamboree. Wow, Coach, they look good in those white helmets, huh, Coach?
Yeah, we're going to look good.
Quarterback number 48 gives the handoff to number 80, runs up the middle, but is stuffed by number 6, Deshaun McBride. What a great hit by 6 there. Wildcats in the red zone. Quarterback number 48 hands it off to 22, who pushes his way into the end zone, making the score 7-0 Walker. Coach, let's talk about this play.
Well, I mean, again, just talked about it earlier. I mean, a high school kid that can drive for 15 plays, 17 plays without making a mistake, hats off to you. Hats off to them. I mean, look, they finished a big-time opening drive, and we did not, but we made them go 17 plays, which is huge. They're not going to be able to do that drive in and drive out.
Jackets ball now. Quarterback Jerry Horn hands it off to number 5, Hudson Byers, who is stuffed in the backfield for a loss. Jackets forced to punt after a 3-and-out. Wildcats ball. Quarterback 48 passes is complete to number 12 in Jackets territory, taken down by Rancher Miller. Wildcats attempt a field goal. Snap is fumbled. Holder tries to pass, but number 2 Jonas Clark with a big hit. Denham defense holds second half. Second half now. 9-0 Wildcats. Walker on offense. Quarterback number 48 is sacked, hit hard by linebacker number 39, Trevor Lewis. A big loss. Coach, let's talk about the replay here.
Yeah, I mean, a big sack. I thought defensively, really gathered themselves after that first big drive and did some great things after that. So, I mean, you can't be disappointed in the defensive effort as, again, we're getting a lot of these young dudes experience and a chance to play.
Denham on offense. Senior quarterback number 16, Cooper Burrell, scrambles around and throws an interception returned by Walker deep into Jacket territory. Coach, let's talk about this play here.
Look, these things are going to happen again. I mean, how many live snaps in varsity action has Carson Burrell really played? Not many, so he's got to get this out of his system. The more disappointing part of this whole play was how the defense came back onto the field with a short field and kind of let Walker finish that drive fairly quick. That was the only disappointing part of this play. But Walker's a better team. They made some plays that night, and that's what you're supposed to do in a Jamboree, and good for them. We'll be back and ready to go week 1, and we'll see them again week 10.
Great tackle by number 5. Walker down inside the 5. Number 80 punches it in for Walker, making it 16-0. Just a tough play there by the defense, getting not much yardage there. And Jackets offense trying to start the comeback. Number 9, Jerry Horn. Deep pass is completed to number 4, Tylen Haynes, into Walker's territory. Coach, let's talk about Tylen.
Yeah, I mean, we needed a big play right here and a great throw. Protection was good. Tylen has probably had one of the better summers as far as confidence and catching the football and getting a lot better than what he had been in the past. So, he's going to make big plays like this when the opportunity rises, and you're excited to see what he ends up doing.
Quarterback number 9, Jerry Horn, under pressure, scrambles to the right and runs for the first down. Denham marches. I saw Hunter Ryder, 86 right there, with a great block that helped Jerry get the extra yards. What do you think about that, Coach?
Yeah, I mean, Hunter Ryder's a name you hadn't seen much of, and the guys are getting the job done.
4th down now. Number 9, Jerry Horn finds number 4, Haynes, but he is stopped short of the first down. Turnover on downs. Walker wins the Jamboree 16-0 over the Jackets. Coach, let's talk about offense again. Not able to get any points on the board for Denham.
Well, I mean, let's be realistic. Let's not make excuses. It wasn't our best effort. But again, there was growth and we got better. The things we thought were going to be some of our weaknesses aren't even necessarily our weaknesses. When you replace your top 6 O-linemen, there's going to be a lot of growth that has to take place with O-line, and I think they're playing pretty well. It's like I told you that the next morning. I mean, congratulations. Most all of you in this room now have just about one complete start under your belt between the Jamboree and the Scrimmage and the spring game. I mean, you really haven't played a whole lot of football, so there's going to be some ups and downs, and you can either use that as an excuse or you can embrace it and put your back against the wall and fight out of that corner, which is what I like to do, which is what I want to do with you young guys or you inexperienced guys. Offensively, look, we're going to sputter right now because we're learning, but there is glimpses of being close to an offensive explosion. We're leaving a lot of things on the field. I think at times, you got to remember where, if you think your O-line, it needs a little help right there. We can't hold on to the football. In the run game, we got to make sure we're getting on our path and on our track and trusting those guys to get their blocks. When your O-line is inexperienced and learning to gel together, you got to make it as easy as possible on them. And that's on us as coaches, and that's on us knowing the situation as football players. Like I said, you can't hold the football. You got to run your tracks when you get the football, and just trust those guys. They're only going to get better. Yeah, it's a loss, but that crap's over. It's everybody 0-0. It's a Jamboree. Really, at the end of the day, means nothing. Depending on how you embrace it, which some people may think this was the Super Bowl and felt good for them, and some people may think it's a growing point and we're going to be better, and that's how this is looked at. It has no outcome in week 1. It'll have no outcome as the year goes on. It'll have no outcome in week 10. It is what it is. I'm by no means worried or panicking, and I'd like all you guys to relax too and just embrace the process and get better and keep competing. That's why we do what we do. But hey, it's 0-0, and now the real things begin.
Yes, sir. I want to go back to offense one more time. You put Carson Burrell. Do you think the quarterbacks are going to keep fighting for the starting job?
Look, I think we've got a great starting quarterback in Jerry Horn. I really do. The kid has paid his dues. He split time with Reese the last couple of years. I think a big thing that he's learned to grapple with is like you're not the spark anymore. You have to be the fire. You have to be consistent to where maybe Burrell is the spark now. Just to kind of give us a little change up. The guys that back up Jerry kind of give us a little more threat with the legs to where we may be able to do a few things to kind of give us a spark, and ignite us. But really, putting Carson in, I mean, heck, you know him as good as anybody.
Yes, sir.
He's a little warrior. He's a competitor. But you can't get caught up in the fact that, Jerry Horn got benched for Carson Burrell. Well, realistically, we play a very tough game, and we got to also know what we have behind some of these guys that are mainstays. And just to give Carson some reps here and there, just let him get a taste of it, let him see it, that's going to be critical for us to be better because, God forbid something happened to any of you. But, quarterback's position is such a critical spot that if something were to happen to the starter, we got to make sure our second guy's ready to go. And I think Carson is a phenomenal dude to have in that room. His attitude kind of gives us that edgy, chippy attitude you love to see offensively. And the dude brings a lot to our program, and he's going to continue to bring a lot to our program. And, the best thing is nobody gets comfortable and you keep competing, and iron sharpens iron, and you make each other better. Because the minute you get comfortable, you're going to get passed up. And if that's Jerry getting comfortable and Carson blowing by him, hey, welcome to football, welcome to athletics, that's life. You got to keep competing and you got to embrace the competition.
Coach, I want to talk about Mandeville. What has the team been doing to prepare for this?
Well, look, a much improved Mandeville football team, and not that they were bad last year. Craig Jones is a great head football coach at this level in 5A, and just came up to 5A last year. They kind of got to Mandeville late. You did a phenomenal job last year. You watch them; they competed with us. Where they're back against the wall for a week one and being so early with those kids, and then you watch them get better throughout the year. I got a special running back. The quarterback is a kid that transferred from Hammond. That's not only a big threat with the arm, but a big threat with his legs, and is a kid that's going to be able to put us in binds at times if we don't get things right there. Big physical in the trenches, very aggressive and nasty defensively. I like the way they play. We're going to have to be ready for a dogfight, and Mandeville is a much improved team. And a solid program that a lot of people can learn a lot from, and I expect to see them in that playoff bracket and have the opportunity to make a little run themselves.
So you talked about how they were very physical. What does Mandeville bring to the table?
Well, you can tell they play with a little attitude. Like I said, defensively they're very aggressive up front. They fly around. Sometimes that can really disrupt the timing of an offense, and they seem to do a good job with their D-line up front. Again, offensively, the back, as scary as he is, they got most of their linemen back from last year. They're big, they're physical, and they seem to be doing a really good job together, and they're coached really well. And when you got a team that's disciplined, that's coached really well, that's got a couple of dudes that can take the top off like they do, they really got a chance to be very scary and a good football team.
Coach, what do you think the keys to winning the game are?
Well, we got to get comfortable ourselves. There's no panic button by any means with me. There's no panic with me. There's just time. We got to figure out a way to get our guys as comfortable as possible, as quick as possible, so they can go freaking play our game. Like it doesn't matter if I think you're a good football player in house if you can't play at your potential because you're having to think too much, or the speed of the game is eating you alive, or the nerves of the game, the lights coming on, and in between your head the lights go off. Type mentality. I want to be able to help you as much as possible because I think we got good football players that have got to learn to play together and trust each other, and that takes time with the youth and experience we have, and really we just can't play enough football right now. You hope you don't, in the process of growing, you don't want to, you want to take your losses as learns, and you want to get as comfortable as possible because no matter what happens, we have to get better every week. We have to compete every snap, and we have to be comfortable doing it at a very high level in a very uncomfortable spot because you haven't played a whole lot. And, that's really on us, man. Like, we're forgetting. You're still just high school kids that just want to play a game at a level you don't even know you can play yet. But that is coming. It's going to happen this year with this group. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch you grow up. We just hope it's done, sooner rather than later. And we're close. You look at us play. Yeah, I know by the naked eye, you look at these scoreboards, this team is this team's going to be bad. I see some of the crap on Twitter already. It's going to be a long year. It's going to be an amazing year. It's going to be a lot of fun because when the light bulb goes off with y'all, it's going to be really fun to watch your youth and inexperience just turn into just energy and hair on fire and playing the game the right way, playing it Denham Springs way, and continue to grow this program.
Thank you for watching this episode of The Brett Beer Show, sponsored by James Restaurant. The Jackets will kick off the season at Jacket Stadium at 7 o'clock versus Mandeville. Buy the posters. We will be selling them. We'll see you here next week for episode 2.